Hello my friends, welcome to a new video. This is Hassan Kuchaki and I'm glad to have you back here. Well, in this video we are going to talk about a good question that one of the students had asked me, and that question was uh, that we have pointers in C++, and by pointers use we can use pointers in applications and perform several tasks that are only feasible using pointers. Uh, what should we do if we want to write the same program in Python, which doesn't have something such a concept like pointers? That's a good question and leads to this video. And here I want to talk more generally than this question and discuss more about this great question. Uh, so we don't have pointer in Python. What should we do? Uh, in great in applications in industries, before we dive into coding and start producing the product, uh, before all of this process, we uh, create a or several documents called UML called UML UML diagrams. These UML diagrams are going to tell us that how an application would work in the real world. For example, uh, we have let's assume we are going to design Instagram. Okay, we have a user. This is a user who wants to send a message to another user. Okay, this is the diagram for sending a message. Sending a message. Okay, uh, we do this operation of creating diagrams for every task that can be accomplished inside our application. Okay, for example, this was sending message, this is creating profile, this is creating for example a new post, this is creating a story, this is login, and all of the stuff that we can do in our applications are designed using these intonations before we start to writing the code of our program. So this would help us to determine which implementations we are going to need and how we should design them so we are not going to face any further problem in the future updates. That is really important as we can see the interaction between entities and how they should, and this actually guides us to how we should implement our application to face as much possible the to face the less problems as much possible. So this is one of the instructions that we can use before creating applications. So here, for example, to get a review of the base problem, we can see here we need to use such a thing called pointer. Okay, so by having these diagrams, we know that we need a concept called pointer. So we don't choose our programming language uh, uh, in some languages that doesn't provide anything called, for example, pointers. We use C or C++ that give us the functionality of pointers so that this application is feasible in C or C++. This is one common approach in designing applications. So that is the number one way to deal with this problem. The second approach that we can use in designing applications is that uh, here, for example, we need to take a pointer that, for example, this is ID, and we save a pointer to this ID for this message. Okay, so if this ID is changed, this message also applies this change, okay, using pointers. But in another programming language such as Python, we don't have a concept like pointers. So what should we do? Here we can change our approach to deal with this feature. For example, we can have an array called IDs, and this could be a dictionary in Python. Okay, and whenever a new user profile is created, we just assign a random and unique ID to that, and just save the uh, username that the user has assigned in that. So in this way we can keep track of an account which has what ID corresponding to that user account. So if a user changes, for example, username, we still have the same numeric ID for that account. And here we can keep track of the changing of username. And here, for example, we save a pointer, a store pointer to that ID. Here we just, when we want to store a new message, we assign this ID. Instead of this, we assign this ID, and then fetch this ID or this, which is corresponding to this, and use it here. So this is another approach that we can deal with this problem, and that can be called changing the procedure or approach in solving different problems. And I think that's a good answer for that. Uh, However, sometimes we can use another approach too. For example, here we have an application written in C++, for example. During the maintenance of this application, we once need a feature that is only feasible in Python, or it's really hard to do in C++. What should we do here? As you know, probably in the course operating systems, we can have several applications talking to each other. So in this example, we just come and create a new application, or probably a small application written in Python, and just run this and implement that feature as a function in this Python program, and let it run in the same computer or same server which our application is running. And whenever that feature which was unfeasible in C++ needed to run, we just call this function in this Python program that would calculate the result and send back the result for us. So here is another option approach that we can use while developing software. Talking application with each other that helps us implement some features that are not feasible or really hard to implement in such a specific applications. And that is, thank you for your attention, and I hope you find it helpful. Goodbye.